So if there's no value added, then again, that change of technology, it's going to exterminate what I would call shitty personal trainers. There won't be very many, if any, shitty personal trainers in the future because technology will replace you.
Welcome to Smittyville, the smartest small town in fitness. Real talk for real trainers. Hosted by Chris Smith, CEO of Fitness World, and fitness business journalist Krissy Vann. This is the show for personal trainers. We talk business, leadership, money, and the stuff no one teaches you on the gym floor. Welcome to Smittyville, Population Trainers. Let's start in Town Hall. This is where we talk about the things that actually shape a career in fitness. So the question is, can algorithms and AI as a partnership really change the shape of personal training? So when it came to building programs in Chris's personal training days, was the process quill and parchment? Just kidding.
I'm not that old, but there was paper for sure involved. And there was drafts, generally speaking, involved, like notes, almost an outline of thoughts and ideas. And again, I grew up from an NSCA, now Strength and Conditioning Association perspective, / then subsequently NASM was kind of my formal personal training background information aside from my degree. But yeah, I was, building, macro cycles and mesocycles and thinking about sets, reps, and rest ratios and what movements and why and, strength and, stability and power phases and when are we going to do all these things and what sequence for this client and that goal. And yeah, you'd write it all down. And then if you're doing a nutrition program, you had nutrition books where you're flipping pages and writing everything down and putting meals together and counting macros and whatever. So stuff that you can do now in a minute or less that would take hours in terms of what AI can do for you, and in many cases maybe a better program.
And that's exactly it. Obviously, there's tons of different use cases for AI, but for the modern personal trainer, where should people be leveraging it, and where do you feel it's potentially more hype than helpful?
Well, I think you can leverage it if you're using the right content. So I wrote a program, helped my brother write a program for a football team, and I used AI to help it. But in my prompts, I was very specific on what information I wanted to use to source to build that program. Again, meaning NSCA and NASM, particular, like very specific prompt. And then I reviewed the program, made some modifications, tweaks, adjustments that I thought were appropriate based on how that weight room is shaped and what tools are available to say, coach the kids and what movements that they can actually perform safely in that environment. So, I think all those kind of things have to be considered. And then in terms of, helpful or hurtful, yeah, again, it's just how you use it, right? Can it be hurtful? Absolutely, right? If you think it's a one size fits all, or like, hey, generate a program that I can use the following tools for personal training clients, and it spits out a workout and you're going to go do that workout with the same 6 people all day long. Well, that's just lazy, which again, trainers were doing that before AI anyway. They would write one program for the day, more or less. You'd see client after client doing the same thing and be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So if anything, I think it should take that away and make it easier, but it can be harmful if you're just not going to apply it correctly, or again, not be situational in what you're doing, or if you don't prompt it correctly. Like, client is 62 years old, I don't include their age. If I don't include the fact that they've had a knee replacement, if I don't include the fact they have a herniated disc in their back and aren't able to do certain movements that I know from an assessment perspective or conversation perspective, but if I don't include that in my prompt when I'm quote unquote writing a program, well, it's not going to take that into account. So I think you have to be really detailed and specific.
What's the capacity that you're having trainers under the Fitness World umbrella utilize AI, if at all, at this point?
We're not telling them to utilize it at all. We're using the other programs that are synthesizing other material to help do that for them. So there are tools that we're plugged into that help them do that, but we're not advising, hey, use ChatGPT or use this or use that to help kind of write your programs. And I guess I would use maybe the phrase, yet. There are some platforms out there now that are doing that. I mean, my big conversation to everyone around personal training AI is pretty simple. It's to say, if you think that knowing programming or knowing how to write programs is going to give you job credibility and stability in the future, like, you're delusional.
Elaborate.
Well, like,
What makes them Delulu, as they
well,
say
if
these
you think
days?
that your value add to somebody is that you have the knowledge necessary and required to like build and give a program. I mean, that's actually where I think like all these trainers are doing online training. Like they're hooped. You're super hooped.
Yeah.
Because
What do you think the future of that road looks like?
I just think it's a short road with a dead end. Because again, it's just a lot harder to have a true service continuum without like an actual personal relationship that is built on like the physical presence of and the world-class customer service of. And again, I think it's really hard, at least with today's technology, to
Catch.
it's good catch on your microphone there. It's difficult to with today's technology to be a 360 trainer, look at all the individuals, like, where are they struggling, where do they need to be, prompted and coached, right? So if I'm giving you feedback around, I need you to move your shoulder here or do this here, and as you're doing all that and you're cueing folks, right? Like you got to be able to do that in a meaningful way. So the technology, as we said, there is some tools available, quote unquote digital tools, but that technology is not all the way there yet, where it's just readily available. So I think that's again where you win. That's where you beat the machine, if you will. Is again, what is my service level? How am I queuing my client? How am I making that experience unique and fun and enjoyable and whatever else? Versus like I did the program. I just, program's a program. It's like, well, anybody can do that.
So a lot of the conversation is around job loss because of AI and AI replacing jobs. So in summary, you feel as though nothing can really beat the face-to-face client experience if they're giving strong customer service, but online training may be a dead end in...
I think it's a lot harder to deliver that kind of experience from an online perspective, because a lot more of it is just kind of the program, and you can see some of it, and they can cue, and you can have folks with headphones in, and they can have an iPad or a phone in front of them that can at least see some stuff. So it's not like there's no queuing going on, but I think that personal connection was already lost, and now I think it's on its way to disappearing.
Fair enough. Well, we have some AI workouts here, or maybe they're human-led workouts, and you're going to decide whether they are or not.
Okay.
Okay. Human or robot? Engage your core like you're bracing for a punch, then drive through your heels to power up every squat.
AI.
It was human.
Bummer.
Squat down 90 degrees and then return to the starting position while maintaining proper biomechanical alignment.
We'll go with AI again.
Yeah.
I figure, what if I just say AI every time? Did that make me right 50% of the time?
Oh, well, I'm not going to tell you that because then you'll know.
That's my strategy here.
Damn it. Ensure optimal oxygen intake by maintaining consistent inhalation and exhalation pattern during
Yeah, that's
cardiovascular.
There we go.
This was kind of to drive the point.
Inhalation, exhalation patterns.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And this is probably the type of things that some trainers are spitting out to their clients if they're not prompting AI correctly.
Yeah. No. Well, and again, I mean, I specifically, when I use prompts even for my own stuff, I'm not just I say using Chris Smith's tone of voice and language use and whatever. So if I'm going to do anything like that, I want it to sound like me.
Well, and you would have
not
trained
sound
it
like
that
somebody
way.
else.
I'm actually really curious now, and I've just thought of this, but I never used, do you ever use the ChatGPT voice function?
No.
Okay, we're going to use voice mode right now. What's something that you're currently working on? Not going to let me do it with my microphone plugged in. That's so upsetting. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. No worries at all if the microphone was giving you trouble. We are all set now.
That's so creepy.
Absolutely happy to help. If there's anything else you need or you want to dive into, just let me know.
What are your current fitness goals, Chris?
I am.
I'm glad you asked.
I didn't ask you.
No, you're Krissy. It thinks you're Chris.
Yeah, okay, but I want to know what's your current fitness goal, and then we're going to feed it to... Okay, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hey there. It's so weird to talk to a robot.
It's not weird at all. I'm just here to chat and make things as easy as possible. So just think of me as your friendly digital buddy.
Brilliant digital buddy. Can you help my friend Chris here with his current workout goals?
Absolutely. Just pass along what Chris is aiming for, and I'll be happy to help out. Let's get those workout goals sorted.
All right, Chris. What are your workout goals?
Well,
Yeah, Chris, feel free to let me know what you're aiming for, whether it's building muscle, improving endurance, or just getting a bit more active. I'm here to throw some ideas your way.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm currently working on strength conditioning, and I'm actually going to do an Olympic lifting competition in January for like USA Masters. So can you help me with a program on Olympic lifting?
Absolutely. That sounds like a fun challenge. If you're aiming for your first Masters competition or just leveling up your training, we can definitely tackle that. Let's dive in.
Yeah, I'm 51 years old, male, and so I need a program that can, combine sets, reps, and rest ratios for both the clean and jerk and the snatch lift, because it'll be a combined total. So what frequency should I be training at, and what would that look like?
So if you're working on both the clean and jerk and the snatch, typically you'd be looking at something like 3 to 4 sessions a week that focus on those lifts. You might do a mix of heavy days and technique days. And for each session, you could structure it with a few sets of lower reps to keep your form solid and then build up the weight as you go. We can fine tune the details from there.
Cool.
One last question before you go. What do you think the future of artificial intelligence will be when it comes to personal training? Will it replace jobs, or do you think that in-person connection is going to remain of utmost importance?
That's a really great question, and honestly, it's a little bit of both. I think AI is going to become a super useful tool in personal training. Like, it can help personalize workout plans, track progress, and give real-time feedback. But that human connection, the motivation, and the relationship you have with the trainer, that's always going to be special and important. So I think AI will enhance things, but not fully replace that human touch.
Okay. What's your name?
Well, you can just call me whatever you like. I'm just your friendly ChatGPT here to help out.
Did you ever have like a pretend best friend as a little girl?
Absolutely.
What was their name?
Oh, I definitely had a fleet.
What's
you're
most
gonna.
prominent?
Oh
Because then you
God.
can name her.
Oh, that's true. I feel like I need to mull this over. I don't know why the name Betty's coming to mind.
I like Betty. Let's go with Betty.
Betty, badass Betty. Can you tell me you're a badass Betty?
Absolutely, I can own that. So you've got yourself a badass Betty right here. Just let me know whatever else you need, and badass Betty's on it.
That's pretty good.
That was excellent. That over-delivered. That was great.
That's pretty good.
I am really, really happy that worked out.
Badass Betty will own it.
All right, bye-bye.
Hi, Betty.
All right, well, you know where to find me, whenever you want to chat again. Take care and have a great one.
Oh, she sounded a little sad when we were like, we're going to part ways. That's how they get you.
Goodbye, Betty.
Goodbye, Betty. Badass Betty.
Down the rabbit hole.
That was amazing.
Let's head to the trainer circuit. Real questions, real situations. Chris shows up, listens, and mentors from experience.
What do you see as the biggest shift in the fitness industry in 5 years, and how is Fitness World preparing for it?
What feels obvious is certainly, the advent of AI and where's that going and what's it going to change and how's it going to change. And, my answer is to say, well, so what can AI do and what can't it do, at least at this stage? Or will I want to be cued by a robot? Maybe at some point they're going to have a personal trainer robot that can actually cue you as well. Because even right now, you go onto a website, and if you're good at prompting, right, and you're working with some of the right algorithms, if I prompt hey, using NSCA, NASM standards, write me a 45-minute program for this and that, progressions, regression, if you write the prompt correctly, that AI will spit it right out. That's easy. What it can't do is cue. And it definitely can't cue from a 360-degree parameter. And so I think if you're hey, if I'm a personal trainer and I want to still add value to my clients that no robot or machine can ever do, how do I do that? Well, what you can't do is take the universal trainer stance. Standing over my client, by the way, counting reps. 1, good job, 3 more, 4, yeah, nice, good work. If I'm just a machine counting reps, even right now, I'd say you're already outdated, you're gone. The person you're training just doesn't know it. They just don't understand that technology will already give them the same thing you're giving and then some. Because the apps count the reps out loud on the pacing, the sets, the repetition, the sequencing, the time under tension. It'll do all that now. But what it can't do is cue. 3 planes of motion, right? And then we have all these different lines and different things, and we have breathing mechanics and all this other stuff that goes into different movements, right? And so again, if I'm a personal trainer and I'm only cueing from one spot here or here versus what? And again, I want to be eye level with my client, so that might require me to get down on a knee. It might require me to, on that rep, I'm going to be looking here and I'm looking specifically at, oh, that's the transverse plane and here's how it's moving. Then I'm moving my body around. I'm like, okay, now I'm checking it out from the sagittal plane or whatever it is I'm looking at and however I'm moving, right? But you have to move and then you have to cue while you're moving and add value. So if there's no value added, then again, that change of technology, it's going to exterminate what I would call shitty personal trainers. There won't be very many, if any, shitty personal trainers in the future because technology will replace you. If you're really good and you're a 360-degree trainer that understands how to give auditory and verbal and all this good feedback, right? Hey, is it okay if I touch your scapula real quick? That's your back. I'm going to touch your back. Is that okay? Okay, very good. I ask permission to touch, right? I then place my hand somewhere right here. This is your rhomboid. I need you to squeeze right here while they're doing that row or that face pull or whatever, because maybe they're just rounding their shoulders, they're doing something, whatever they're doing wrong and you're trying to correct. Because again, no machine can do that and it won't be able to do that. Now, maybe someday it will under the thing of robots. Who's this? This is my robot personal trainer. Come on, Bob. And like Bob comes in the gym with them, but I think we're a ways off from that.
Before we wrap, we'll leave you with a Smithism, a lesson Chris has picked up along the way.
It's hard to transition, but it's time for a Smithism.
We'll go with this one today, which is like, if you can, you must. And so I think if you can learn about digital technology and AI and how to stack some of these tools in a way to make your own personal life better, to make your professional life better, to enhance those that you're serving in the form, then you must, right? Like if you have an opportunity. So the simple phrase, the symbology of it, I think it applies to more things than certainly this, but the phrase is, if you can, you must.
That's today's Smithism. Chris Smith is the mayor of Smittyville, and I'm Krissy Vann, your town correspondent. This is the smartest small town in fitness. We'll see you back here every other week.